Good morning. Thanks for tuning in. You're watching the F&O Show on Bloomberg Quint Live, India's first digital live streaming business news service. I'm Navneet Saluja D'Souza.
Good morning, Navneet. I'm Agam Vakil. Well, the markets for now are just barely managing to stay in the green. Not too much to speak for. It's a quiet morning, Navneet.
Yeah, Pagam, and the template remains pretty much the same. Every pullback now is being used to either create short positions or maybe an element of profit booking. God knows who's making profit in this sort of market, but 10,700 is where we're trading. So for the day, if you were to watch any levels, yesterday's low was about 10,670, so that should be your first support level. And the second can be your August lows, which traders have been watching out for really a long time, and that's 10,637. As of now, we're just about trading flat. Sensex is up about 31 points. Bank Nifty is up about 74 points in trade. Pull up the India Volatility Index. Remember yesterday, the markets fell by 1.5%, but VIX did not move higher. It could be a function of volatility as a function of weekly options expiry day as well. But today also, India VIX is just about around the same levels of about 15.5. And talking about the broader markets, I think some selling pressure seen there, underperformance from broader markets. Both Nifty, mid-cap as well as the small-cap indices currently are seeing some bit of cuts. The market breadth is also on the weaker side. And talking about the futures, that's mid-cap as well as small cap index for you, nearly 0.5% cut seen for both these indices. All right, let's address the futures then. Market breadth is in favor of the declines right now. Nifty futures and Bank Nifty futures yesterday, despite of a major selling pressure, we did not see any open interest build up significantly. So right now also it's just a percent higher for Nifty futures. Bank Nifty futures will also come up on your screen. Premiums have been coming off for both these futures. Bank Nifty futures yesterday saw OI build up of about nearly 1%, and this morning it's up about 6%. Sectorally, Nifty media, I think because of the fall that we've seen in Zee today, and that's fallen about 5%. Zee will have maximum weightage in this index. It's down about 5%, and some bit of respite seen for banks, autos, as well as private banking index, which are just about marginally in the green. And talking about the levels to watch out now for next Thursday expiry, which is also your monthly expiry now. A maximum open interest on the call side is at 11,000 call, and on the put side, it is at the 10,800 strike. Now remember, index is already trading below the mark of 10,800. As I mentioned at the start of the show, you can watch out for yesterday's low first of about 10,670, and then August lows of about 10,637. But Agam, I think the day and the week belonged to call writers because there was a lot of call writing which has come into the system. And as we speak, open interest change 10,008, 9, all the out-of-the-money call strikes are witnessing a lot of OI addition. And the put side, 10,700 will remain key as the puts are active at that level.
That's right, Navneet. Absolutely agree with that. But let's talk about stocks which are also in focus today. There certainly has been a lot of change in open interest. Let's pull that list out and see where there is a lot of movement. So we have Zee Entertainment, which is under pressure. It's down 11%, and well, a lot of weakness there. Just Dial is the other one, which is also buckling under pressure. It's down 4%. Shorts coming in there. Manappuram Finance is down, and the underlying for Raymond also comes off by as much as 3.5%. So there are shorts in all of those four stocks out there, as you can see on your screen. Torrent Pharma, on the other hand, is looking at just about 0.5% advance. Let's keep an eye on that one. Are we looking at too much in terms of unwinding? Well, okay, so we do have Tata Global Beverages, but besides that, not too much to speak for. Well, the markets are not looking that great, and while some may have expected some amount of recovery today, it's not been the case so far, Naveed.
Yep, and we opened actually 20 to 30 points higher, but that pullback was also used to sell into the market. So let's see where the closing comes about. 10,700 remains key. On the show today, we will be discussing few stocks, and to top it all, it will be Zee, which is the top loser on Nifty as well. It's the top F&O loser. The stock's corrected nearly 18% for the week, and it's been trading below all its key moving averages. Axis Bank is in focus after the bank has launched its QIP to raise $1.4 billion. The stock for the week is down about 7%. And lastly, watch out for Torrent Pharma. Agam highlighted the stock. It's up for the second straight day. Despite of the weakness seen yesterday, the stock ended in the green, and it's also nearing its 200-day moving average.
Right, well, it's time to get in our experts for today. But before that, here's a reminder. If you have any queries regarding futures and options, you can always call us on 022454044141. Or, of course, write to us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube with the AskBQ hashtag. We have Ruchit Jain of Angel Broking and Hemen Kapadia of KRChoksey joining us on the show today. Welcome to both of you and good morning. Ruchit, let me start with you. How do we go about the indices here? What's your view?
Hi, very good morning, Agam. Agam, if you see, after the pullback move, 11,000, 11,100 range had acted as a resistance, and in this entire week, we had seen correction in which technically a breakdown from a triangle pattern has been seen. And usually, whenever we see such breakdown from triangles, that is from consolidation phases, the momentum becomes negative, and that's what we have seen in last 3 trading sessions. Now, if I look at some positional charts, then the last 1.5 months, Nifty index has traded in this broad range of 11,100, 150 on the higher side and 10,600, 10,700 range on the lower side. So we have now approached the lower end of the range. Today you can see the market breadth is almost even, Steven, just marginal in favor of the declines. So we are expecting some stock specific momentum where there would be opportunities on the both sides of the trade. But on the index one, frankly, I think we would see this range of 10,800 for intraday on the higher side, and on the lower side 10,670 would be the support to watch out for. We are even advising our clients to rather taking any directional bet today, where index are expected to trade in a range. One should stay light on the index and look for some stock specific opportunities.
Okay, that's the advice coming in from Ruchit. Stay light on the index, but still he's given you the range 10,670, which was yesterday's low, and on the upside 10,800. Let's take Hemen's view as well. Hi Hemen, good morning. How do you play this sort of market? Market key levels are being breached, both Nifty, Bank Nifty trading way below their 20-day moving average, and Nifty has been forming lower highs for the last 4 sessions. PCR close to 1. Would you recommend taking any position now?
A very good morning to you, Noni. Thank you for having me. I also agree with what Ruchit said. It's too late to sell, too early to buy. Shorting over here doesn't make sense, and I'm not sure we can take a directional view right now without a bounce. It's very clear that when it didn't come to 11.2, we should have and maybe cross that. And on the other side, we broke 10,950 now need. So the pullback is over, obviously, and I don't think the Nifty is going to make a new high till the next April or something. So we walked into a correction of a greater degree, and yeah, I think it has started deepening, and I don't think this is the end of it. But that's a medium-term view. Extreme short-term, I'd sell a strangle now. The 10,300 put and the 11,000 call, 31st October, not the shorter-term ones, and I don't think it goes either ways, because what I mean to say is I don't think 10,300 breaks without a bounce, and 11,000 now seems quite far away. So I don't think that looks like coming. So that's what I do.
Okay, well, that's the view on the indices. But what about stocks? Hemen, coming back to you, what's looking good to you today towards buying or selling?
I have a couple of buy calls. Because I think the markets are oversold. We're due for a 150, if not a 200 point bounce. Sustainability remains zilch, but yeah, a bounce nevertheless. So firstly, a buy on LIC, high beta, but LIC Housing Finance maybe slightly lower levels at 382, stop loss 378, target 390. Shorter term targets, shorter term stop losses don't see much. And a buy on Cummins at 570, stop loss 565, target 580. Deep oversold situations, volume spikes, bounces coming in.
Okay, so those are 2 long calls coming in from Hemen, one of them being on Cummins India, the other one on LIC Housing. Ruchit, what about you in terms of individual stock futures for the day? What are you recommending?
I have just one recommendation today, which is a sell call in Manappuram Finance. If I look at the daily chart, then the consolidation, lower end of the consolidation seen in last 1 week has been breached, which on the hourly chart looks like a breakdown from a head and shoulders pattern. The open interest rise indicates a fresh short formation, so we are expecting the stock to head lower towards 114, which is the target as per the head and shoulders pattern breakdown. So at current levels, one can go short in Manappuram Finance, keeping stop loss below 100, above 124 for target of 114.
Okay, so well, those are some of the ideas that our experts have in today's day of trade, but let's also talk about a few stocks that are in focus, and I'm actually going to talk about one stock which is doing well, and that's Titan company. It's one stock which is actually bucking the trend. It's seen some strength of late, and it is continuing to advance. It's at 1170 odd levels now. So the question is, what do we do with this one, and is there more steam left ahead? Because it's clearly seen some gains coming through. Hemen, the question is for you. Your view on Titan company. What's the way forward?
Well, a 3% long build-up, Agam, and we formed a small range, and right now we're on the verge of taking the range out. If I look at the hourly charts, Agam, the MACD is on the verge of giving a buy on the hourly charts after some 22 hours of consolidation. So yeah, despite what I think is a stretch, I'd still go long, maybe with a 10 rupee stop loss and a 20 rupee target. It looks good. I thought it's a bit overbought, but I mean, long build up and the intraday movement seem to suggest that yeah, there is some more upside left.
Okay, that's Titan for you. Let's also address the stocks which are in focus, and to top it all is Zee, because that's your top loser on Nifty, and also that's your top F&O loser for the day. The stock's now down 10%. In fact, just in the last two trading session, it has seen a big fall. For the week also, the stock's down about nearly 19 to 20%. And as you can see, there is a significant amount of open interest build up. This week, it's down 21%, indicating even at lower levels now, traders are betting on the short side. It's at 277. Remember the deal which happened with Oppenheimer, where the company sold stake to them. That was at 400 rupees, and the stock now trades way below that mark. Ruchit, the sort of fall the stock's seen today and for the week, and also on the future side, we are seeing fresh shorting coming here. So if somebody shorted the stock, what would be the target that you would suggest on the downside?
So definitely the trend for the stock remains negative, not only in last few trading sessions, but if we see the stock has been underperforming since last 1 year. Now, and every pullback move in last 1 year has resisted around its 200-day moving average, and the prices have again resumed its downtrend from there. Now in today's trading session, firstly the swing low of 305, which was the support, has been breached, and once that support is breached, we have seen a good follow-up selling with a rise in open interest, which indicates a fresh short formations as well. Even in the cash segment, if we see last couple of trading sessions, the volumes are quite high, and usually whenever the volumes are high, when prices go down, such stocks tend to underperform. So 305 would now, which was the earlier support, would now become resistance on any kind of pullback move, and on the lower side 247, 250 can't be ruled out.
All right, well, that's Zee Entertainment for you, another one of those stocks which has been well, very tough to trade, especially if your trade was towards the long side. Well, from there, let's move on and take a look at Axis Bank, because Axis Bank is again volatile. It's down as much as 7% right now. Of course, through the course of the week, it's down 1% today as well. There is some sort of short build-up, considering a 5% increase in open interest. And it is in focus because of well, it's launch of the QIP, which, if I'm not mistaken, is at 661 rupees per share. So the QIP is at a premium. Ruchit, let me come back to you and take your view on Axis Bank. How would you go about this? What's the view?
Although the short-term trend is negative within the private sector banks, Axis was one of the stock which was an outperformer till the month of June 2019. But since the first week of July itself, we have seen a corrective phase in the stock. But Agam, if I look at the monthly chart and look at some historical data, then in August 2018, we got a breakout from a huge resistance of triple top, and that breakout level was around 620, 630 range. Now the prices after this correction is trading near that 620, 630 range, and as per the technical analysis, usually the previous resistances breakout were there, those act as a support on pullback moves. So I think this is not the right time to create any short positions in Axis Bank. Wait for some kind of fresh signs, whether the stock goes below 620 or forms some kind of reversal signs over here, then only one should take any kind of fresh trades. But yes, one recommendation would be to avoid a shorting over here.
Okay, avoid shorting on Axis Bank, and just want to address Torrent Pharma before we move into our viewer queries. This is a stock which has been resilient, at least yesterday. Also, the stock was ended the day in positive. Today, also, it's trading with some bit of gains. The futures are trading at a discount of about 11 to 12 points, but there is open interest build-up of about 8 to 9%. And if you look at the moving averages, it's also nearing its 200-day moving average. That's Torrent Pharma, as you can see on the screen. Though in last 1 year, the stock's been just about flattish. It's down about 2.5 to 3%. Hemen, looking at yesterday's and today's move, because the markets have been weak and volatile, the stock's still bucking the trend. Some build-up seen on the future side as well. Would you recommend buying this one, considering it's nearing its 200-day moving average?
Well, frankly speaking, difficult call to make, Navneet, because like you said, there is long build-up. It's coming close to its 200-day moving average. So I wouldn't be that convinced about going long, and the market is bouncing back. So I think even going long in the bank Nifty, the Nifty would be a better. I know it's a completely different paradigm, but I think even that would be a better option than this. And like you said, if you're so close to the 200-day, we'll walk into a roadblock, and maybe it overcomes and maybe it doesn't. So I don't think it's a risk worth taking.
Okay, well, it's time to move on to a handful of queries that we're having. And our first question is from Deepak Senthil Kumar. He says he sold 4 lots of RBL Bank September futures. He sold for these 4 lots at 330 rupees. And he wants to know, should he hold or cut losses? Clearly, we've seen some strength in RBL Bank. It's not too far away from his selling price, considering it is at 333. I reckon that it may be, a confusing call to take, considering it's actually shown some strength after it moved to the levels of around 310 odd levels. That said, Hemen, your view on RBL Bank, would you ask him to hold on to the position, or do you think that he should just cut losses, take that 3 to 4 point odd loss on RBL Bank right now? He holds 4 lots.
Agam, I'd request him to cut his losses. 7 trading sessions. We are at previous supports in a congestion area, oversold, long build up, bounce in the market expected, bounce in the bank Nifty expected. I don't expect RBL to decline further. Maybe it may not stage a very big recovery, but no, clear the way I say it. Cut those shorts, and if he's still in a risk-taking mode, maybe he can buy a 350 call option or maybe 360 call option just to set off some of his losses. I have a feeling a bounce is coming, and the bounce should take Yes Bank back to 340 and 350.
Okay, so cut your shorts on RBL Bank is something Hemen is advising, as he is expecting some bit of recovery to come by. The next query comes in from DN Bhattacharya on YouTube. He's asking if he can look to execute a short straddle strategy on index for at the money strike, and that's only for intraday trading. So Ruchit, I'll come to you. At the money would be the 10,700 call and put on Nifty. He wants to execute short straddle, which will pocket premium of about nearly 180 points to him. But once again, he wants to play it only on intraday basis. So would you advise him to go ahead and execute that strategy?
Yes, I think he can execute that strategy, because on intraday basis, I'm not expecting any significant momentum to come in today. Post opening, post opening, we have seen that the market breadth is almost even Steven in both advances as well as decline. So I think the market could trade in a range, so we can execute this a short straddle for intraday.
Okay, and a final question from Harshvardhan. He wants to know, is it a good idea to sell Muthoot Finance 570 call? Let's take a look at Muthoot Finance and see where that one is. Its underlying is at 579, and he's looking to sell the 570 call. I wonder why, because a better idea would be to sell an out of the money call. That said, I'm going to take this query on with Ruchit. Back to you. Would you sell the 570 call? One. If not this one, would you sell a higher call, or would you sell a call at all in case of Muthoot Finance? How is it looking to you?
So firstly, if I look only at the price, then the stock is trading around its 200-day moving average, which is placed at 570, 572. Secondly, it's not wise to sell such in the money call option when the price or when the options are not that liquid. If we take some large cap stocks such as HDFC Bank or any other Reliance, SBI, then usually in the money call options or any call options in such stocks are much liquid rather than Muthoot Finance. So whenever you take a sell call strategy, look for slight out of the money call options, where if your view is bearish, then you can sell call options of bit higher price. So it's not advisable to sell 570 call option at current levels. I think it's better if I have to give any strategy over here, then I would not prefer taking any trade in Muthoot Finance over here. Rather, at the start of the show, Manappuram Finance, both the stocks are from the same sector. Manappuram Finance relatively looks much weaker for intraday and even for 1 or 2 trading sessions. So you can, if you want to take in a trade in options, then Manappuram Finance 120 put option can be bought, which is right now trading around 2.5 rupees. Buy that with stop loss of 1.15 and expect target around 5 to 6 rupees.
Okay, that's Manappuram Finance for you. This week, the stock is down, but on year-to-date basis, it's definitely given you some returns. It's one of the outperforming NBFCs. Okay, I just want to pull up HDFC Bank before we wrap the show. The stock's at the high point now. It's up 2%. Remember, it's also a heavy weight on the index with nearly 10% weightage. So it is lending support to Nifty, and both Nifty and Bank Nifty right now, which Nifty is back into the green, though marginally in the green, but watch out for HDFC Bank. It's the heavyweight. And on the losing side, want to highlight NTPC, which is down about 2%, and also Dewan Housing has fallen about 11%. We've already addressed Zee, which is down 10%, and alongside Zee, we've also seen the fall coming in for something like Dish TV, which has become a 17 to 18 rupees stock right now, Agam.
Okay, well, there you have it. But we've run out of time on the show, so I'm going to take a moment to thank both our experts, Ruchit and Hemen, for joining us and taking us through their views on the markets. For more updates on the F&O space, you can always check our website, bloombergquint.com, specifically the futures and options pages.
With that, it's a wrap on this edition of the F&O Show. Thanks a lot for watching. You can stay tuned to Bloomberg Quint for more news and updates.